I know you probably saw it about the acquisition of or not the acquisition, but it was like an agreement between Xbox and Sony.
Yeah.
I literally just saw it pop up on my feed. Oh,
How do I sound to you?
I'm going through and doing all the altars of Lilith now. I'm just knocking them all out. I got to.
Wait, no, that's what. What is that?
What's this place?
How do I sound to you? Any different?
No, a little bit.
No
You
one's
put a
gonna
little
say
bit of
anything?
bass in there and say with your chest.
Why is everyone just smiling?
I was just watching that dumbass video a minute ago, and I'm still giggling about it.
Giggity giggity.
I can't hear Wild.
What do you mean you can't hear me? You
Is it
better hear
me?
me.
Man made me suspicious of my settings again. I'm like, what the hell?
Like, wait a minute. I know my settings is
Oh
right.
yeah, it was 1,000% me. I knew somebody to speak.
1,000%. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, somehow my headphones turned themselves off. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, how do I sound to you? I sound like a little bit different. I feel like my bass has been too high.
You're peaking in weird spots.
What does that mean?
Means that, get the mic off your tonsils.
He's giving the mic all deep throat.
But then sometimes you guys don't hear me. I mean,
He's like,
how do I sound when I speak right now? Can you hear me? Do I still sound good?
Now you sound too far away.
Exactly. So then I have it here. Yeah, man, I might need a different mic because this thing is all over the place. It needs to be exactly 2 inches from my face.
That's why I'm not even gonna cap. Like, I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, that if you get like a subpar mic, like if you get the settings right, you can make it sound good.
Oh yeah. What's going on, El Meltdown?
I know. Oh well.
Anybody heard from Solps today?
Nope.
No Solops.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's playing hooky.
I didn't even turn my mic.
I wonder if he just misunderstood our conversation in the group chat, and he just thought I was talking about today.
That ain't possible. There it is. There's the other altar. Give me the altar, dang it.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he is. He's fashionably late.
Man, I was getting ready to say that. I am here. I had to wait for Discord to update.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, so apparently we were getting some chat on Kick last week, but it was all spam. I follow you, you follow me. I follow you, you follow me. Who can follow for chat? What?
Spam is not that bad. I mean, do we know what it exactly is? Is it pig? Is it like ham? Is there a little bit of beef in there?
I mean, I like it.
I haven't had spam in years though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife hates it, so I can't have it in the house.
Is Vienna sausages considered spam?
May as well be. I think there's less meat in that.
I like Vienna sausages, though. I still eat those.
Man, I used to go on camping trips with dudes all the time, and they'd be hating Vienna sausages. I mean, I'm like, I love them shits, man. I'll eat them all day. You don't want to eat you don't want to eat your Vienna sausages? Give them right here, bud. Mm-hmm. Got 2 dozen of sausages those weekends. Sorry.
Wild, your face.
So what you're trying to tell me is you on a camping trip and you got a lot of sausage.
Oh, hold on. Oh, this. Okay. I think I'm good. No.
Oh, okay. I know what he's doing. All right. We're just going to go ahead and go.
Somebody does.
We're just going to go. And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Griffcast, episode 89, the Mature and Nerdy Podcast for Amateur People, the show where we talk about any and all things nerd, from video games, comic books, movies, computer technology, and or science, up to and including, apparently now, conspiracy theories. Welcome to the show. I am your host and King Neckbeard Griffmore. Did I get it this time, or did I mess it up?
Yeah.
I think that was it, man.
No, my camera, no.
So, you have to apologize for...
You do a show from the car, but can't do a show from the PC.
Look,
So,
tell me about
like,
it, bro.
this guy is trying to do a nightmare dungeon right now.
Yeah, I was like right at the end, actually.
Yeah, I figured. So, apologizing for a while there. He's just not with us. I wasn't paying attention to the intro again. Rewind it. I can only do one miracle a day.
Oh.
So we're gonna go over a couple of topics before we jump into conspiracy theories. A couple of things have popped up and are ready to go. First thing up is no show next weekend. So I'm doing a cookout at my place. So,
Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah. So yeah, no show next weekend. And then that's it I have for news. On the personal note, because like all I've been doing in my free time is playing Diablo, so unless somebody else has something to add. Celops, I saw you tag something up in Discord earlier and I completely missed it. What was it?
Yeah, the thing that I was talking, like we were talking last week about, I forget what exactly, but I had mentioned a podcast that I had watched.
Oh,
It
yeah,
just
yeah,
had some
yeah.
interesting information in it. If you guys get a chance, it's just an interesting thing to watch.
Okay. Let's see. With Billy Carson. All right, cool. I'm gonna have to hop into that. Somebody else was giving me another one to look into for. Yeah, TCP looks confused at no show. He'll be less confused if he shows up to the cookout. But I'll put some meat in his face and he'll be really not confused.
Yeah.
It's a meat in his face, baby.
As long as it's moist and juicy.
Yeah, I'm gonna start spending a couple of days this week trying to develop a new like Carolina mustard sauce.
Ooh, interesting.
Because like I can't do barbecue sauce because it's full of sugar, and I'm on this like no sugar, no bread thing. There's gonna be a little bit of a cheat next weekend with probably have a couple of beers and other things. But anywho, let's see show notes. All right. So unless anybody else has anything to add in that, let's see. We got news on. You can interrupt me at any time.
Just glad and not glad that I'm back. Glad and not glad that I'm back.
Yeah. I did get some news that I might actually be getting a new internet provider soon. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Fiber to the door?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the dream, man.
So yeah, they're getting ready to hit this. I'm just hoping. So I got the notification that I'll be coming to like this area, and I'm like, my new house is right up the line, and I'm like, is it going to reach that far?
It should. I mean, same bit like what? It's not even a full mile, is it?
The way the bird flies, no.
Yeah, I think you should be all right.
So they're partnering with the power company to run it across the power poles.
Oh yeah, you'll be fine for sure.
So, All right, and then we got some update and news about the Microsoft Activision takeover. Apparently, it's going to go through now. The FTC attempted to appeal it, and it got shut down and denied.
Well, it's good to have an end to the saga that's ongoing. Trial with lasting,
Yeah,
like the entire year.
yeah, and Sony's happy now because they get to keep Call of Duty in writing.
Yep, they have been in writing for 10 years, I think. I mean,
My real question is, was there ever any doubt about that? Like, did anybody literally think that they wouldn't give Sony Call of Duty?
I mean, there were some.
It's $1 billion.
Oh, Microsoft's gonna take it over, and then we're never gonna get Call of Duty ever again.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you think about it this way, I mean, you're just losing billions of revenue.
Yeah, like there
But
was
also, you could. I mean, they kind of did seem like they would take the chance of, like, if Call of Duty is only on Xbox, then people would stop buying PlayStations and buy more Xboxes, and completely, flip the script. I mean, I could see them taking that chance.
Yeah.
You'd really you'd have to do it on a new console, though. You couldn't do it in mid-generation. You'd never get away with it.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
Like, your new Call of Duty would have to be your launch title.
But one of the things that I did see is that somebody said, "Oh well, what they're just gonna do now is they're gonna have Call of Duty at least for a couple more years, and then they're gonna go through and come out with a whole new type of Call of Duty, a new name, new everything, and then just have it exclusive to Xbox."
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
So
all right, Wild, you're our Call of Duty guy here. When was the last time Call of Duty was really good?
It was not this one. Hey, look, I understand. I do play it every now and then, but you got to understand. Number one, I gotta really not like Call of Duty for me to jump ship to go to a completely different genre of game to not like Call of Duty. That's huge in itself for me anyway. But the last one that was good was the one before this. Before this, when the movement was good, guns were good. Like, obviously you had your meta guns and everything. And I mean, even still now, like, you have some that are, but it just feels. Sometimes you want a fast-paced game, and sometimes Call of Duty just ain't it because the movement's just they've done nerfed the movement.
I think they try to go for more realistic this go around, right?
Yeah, they try to go for more realistic, and I mean, and I understand it. I understand their business model, but it ain't. I'm not a big fan.
But
So
like you said, like, if they lock it in for 10 years, guess what the current generational time frame is for consoles? 10 to 12 years.
Yep, I was about to say about the time frame of the contract.
They're already saying that they've already leaked the release dates for the next gens, and it's like 2027. No, yeah,
2020 already for new gen?
I mean, it's about time. They usually generate.
Well, yeah, that's true because Xbox X,
Start generating the hype and be like, hey, this will be here in 2 years, which would be right
They
around.
just caught up with PS5 sales. How the hell are they going to justify making a new console now?
All right,
Now
so,
that you finally got a PS5, here's the PS6.
I was about to say, he just got
Dude, the
a
packs is gonna be-
yeah. All right, so here's something that I have a problem with. This was brought to my attention. Apparently, Xbox has hopped on the same bandwagon as PlayStation and recording your conversations. And then if you say something untoward, they punish you for something that you said in your conversations. And while I understand this in certain aspects, I am an American and I am very pro First Amendment. And
I understand the idea behind it, but like if we play a game together and we shit talk each other while we play, it's different than if we play in a random and I just start picking on the 12-year-old. There's a difference.
yeah.
Why you gotta be 12? You
Right.
You already know.
Now, like, do I believe that if you are harassing somebody, you should be reported? Yes. And this allows that. It is a safety net. So, like, if you report somebody, they can go back, listen to it, and then, do whatever they're going to do on their end, depending on how much you broke the user agreement.
So, but the thing is, that net is a very broad net,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh yeah, you can't crap talk. You know, the 12-year-old and make him run back. He's gonna report you. All right, whatever. But now when I'm talking to the boys, and obviously we throw jokes left and right, they're like, oh, well, wait a minute, he didn't get reported, but hey, we heard the conversation, and we're gonna shun you for it. Wait a minute, like I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah, that's
Especially if like two friends are in a game and they're crap talking each other and not anybody else. The other guy's like, well, you shouldn't be doing that to each other. Report. Well, how are you going to report me for talking to my friend?
yeah. This is the gray area, because off camera, the things I say to people that I like is it's pretty gray in public opinion. Like, yeah, like
I feel you, dude.
yeah, and it's like the only time you ever hear that stuff out of me is if I like you. But
So let me ask you all this, because I just thought about it. I mean, I'm definitely on the same train as you. I'm definitely on the same train. But I'm thinking about it. So just because someone's not there and you say something, doesn't make it right?
depends on the context.
Say if you all are in a group chat, and me and Wild are not here, and y'all are just dropping M-bombs.
Oh my God, here we
Does it make it right?
See, now you got it all wrong. There's no fun in dropping N-bombs unless you guys are here. You got to participate. You got to critique. You got to tell me how to do it better, damn it.
You know, right? You gotta give them the lingo. You gotta let them know like how to say it.
Oh yeah,
Go
yeah.
with the UD, with a hard R. What do I need to do here?
Oh, okay, so yeah, that's a real good point, El Meltdown. So in certain countries, up to and including certain states, that is a finable, if not arrestable, offense.
Say what?
M-bombs?
So, like, depending on the topic of conversation that happens that you get, say, reported for, like Canada or California, just straight up arrest you. Arrest
Not
you,
even a
fine
slap
you.
on a wrist or a fine. It's just straight up arrest.
Yeah.
And remember, you can go into a Rite Aid and beat the hell out of the clerk and steal a couple $100 worth of bleach. What's going to happen to you? But if you say some naughty words on the internet,
They're coming after you.
Yeah.
Does that mean Logic's gonna get arrested? Because I mean, he's not. He brags about it a lot.
Depends on where he's actually located. Like, if he's in, like, Texas or Florida, he's perfectly safe. But if he's out
yeah,
there
I
in
know,
Cali,
at least a couple of YouTubers that recently moved out of California because of that. They were like, nah, I can't have my YouTube channel and live here. It's just not viable.
yeah, like people are like
And I
people
was
who
like-
people who are self-employed or have their own business are fleeing California in droves. Have been for years.
Yeah, they're all going to Texas. They're trying to turn Texas. Texas aren't. They're not playing that shit.
They surrendered Austin. They were like, okay, you can have Austin. The rest of it's ours.
Yeah. Here's 100 square miles. We got 1,000,000 square 100 miles left. Or 1,000,000 square 100 miles. Wow. I'm just going to walk away from that one. All right. So, but the reason that we bring this up is it's been brought to my attention that people are praising Xbox for doing this. I do believe that Xbox and Microsoft deserve the same backlash that Sony got in this regard, because Sony's already been doing this.
Well, I mean, people that are praising this probably remember the old like Xbox lobby from back in the day.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
isn't just
Like, them
Xbox,
lobbies
though.
get brutal.
It wasn't just Xbox. Everybody's lobbies was like that, man. I was only on PlayStation. Yeah, I still. be
If you
on
weren't
Xbox.
good at the dozens you did not get on Xbox headset, it did not happen.
Yeah.
If you didn't have good comebacks, you didn't get it. Like, let's be honest.
If you
If your
couldn't talk
comeback
louder
was
than the
weak-
other motherfuckers, you were not allowed to be on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if your comeback was weak,
Yeah.
man, he'd be like, nah, you need to go.
This is where Yo Mama started.
Oh my goodness.
It's probably when it
Man,
became
it's been
big.
around since at least the 70s.
Man, I remember being in first grade dropping mama jokes.
Like, your mama's so big, she got her own zip code.
I ain't talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about stuff like, that ain't what your mama said last night.
Ooh.
But
I remember a comedy sketch where somebody wanted to make like a teleporter. You hooked up to the console, so if somebody trash talk you, teleport to the room, and you could smack them one time and go home.
Well, when people started figuring out how to look up somebody's IP address and find out exactly where they lived, we saw how that turned out.
yeah,
People just started getting shot.
yeah.
That's where the soft feelings come in. This is why we now have these I don't know what you want to call it, a speech ban in the chat.
I mean, it's one thing if it's in text, but man, like, there's a lot of things that people don't need to be recording me saying. But I mean, at the same time, like, I still try to keep it somewhat PC when I'm in a public environment.
Mm-hmm. But that's also what I'm saying. So, I mean, you guys are saying, like, they shouldn't be recording me when it's just me and the boys. But then again, I ask you, if it's just you and the boys, just because you're saying it, does it make it right?
Does it make it right? No. Does it make it punishable? Also, no. Two things can be right at the same time.
I mean,
Like if it's us and we're playing together and I'm saying some really vile shit and everybody's laughing, we're having a good time, is it bad?
See, that's context.
Technically, yes. I mean, what if we have a bunch of clan members and they're in Xbox chat and they're planning to have a movement, they're planning to do something wild, and they're getting recorded, then they get jumped by the FBI or some stuff. Some people that are actually qualified to jump these people. Did it make it right?
Is this going to happen in an Xbox chat?
It could. Do you not remember in Jack Ryan? There's been a couple good espionage movies where they were using game chat to send.
I'm stuck on some hillbilly in the middle of a Call of Duty game.
This is some good stuff.
Talking crap in the Call of Duty lobby. Like,
Good for you, boys. You ain't got nothing on me. Hey, somebody at the door.
I forget what movie it was. There was a movie, and they were logging into a game. It was like a Risk Online or something, and using Risk Online chat to talk to the different cells to give out orders on where to attack and stuff like that. Oh,
that shit actually happens.
Yeah, that was it was some online game. I can't remember which one it was.
I think it was a fake one for the movie, but I'm trying to remember which movie it actually was.
So they used to do that all the time with
Was it the one with Don Cheadle? Because when Don Cheadle was doing no, I want to say it was Jack Ryan. I think it was like the first season of Jack Ryan. They were doing that.
Yeah, they used to do that all the time with RuneScape.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do remember that. I do remember that.
It was RuneScape, Ultima, like all those old online games.
The one with Don Cheadle, they were using emails, but they weren't. They were just logging into an account. Instead of sending the emails, they were just leaving them as drafts, and then the cells would then log into the email account and read the draft.
Interesting.
Because that was a time. It was like, I think there was a time where the literally just gone. NSA, they were only reading sent emails.
Yeah,
Just save it as a draft.
The Patriot Act really cracked down on a lot of that. Which is a possible topic for a future conspiracy theory. All right, so we're gonna jump into this. All right, so the rest of the show is just gonna be like, if that's all you're here for, go ahead and go. But the rest of the show is gonna be just talking about random conspiracy theories, things possible or not. Anyway, aliens. Do you believe or not? Are we alone in the universe?
Well,
Such a
I think
loaded question.
aliens. I think aliens do probably exist, but I'm not sure if they've ever actually been here.
Yeah.
They live among us.
Oh man, I mean, there's
there's a lady on a plane who swears that there's a lizard person on the plane with her.
I saw that.
I haven't seen the whole video. Like I saw like her got like freaking out a little bit, but like I didn't have the full context, so I didn't know what she was freaking out about. So I need to go back and rewatch that whole thing.
Bath salts.
She might have been right.
I was about to say, bath salts, cocaine is a hell of a drug.
I know people were just saying like she was taking Ambien to sleep on the plane and like mixing with alcohol, which will do some fucked up shit to you.
Yeah.
I have been there. But we don't know. So like, man, like, have you seen all this? All this nonsense that I have right here.
So, like, the way I look at it is, the Goldilocks zone that our planet is in is way too precise to give us what we need. So this is where it falls under simulation purview. But at the same time, outside of simulation, the universe is way too big for us to be the only ones, in my opinion.
I mean, it's like
Yeah,
I
that's
just thought
pretty much how I see it.
way too big. It might not be in our galaxy again, somewhere in our galaxy. Even still, like the chances of it being in our galaxy are probably better than hitting the lottery. I want to say that. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
mean, maybe
Wait, you're talking
opposite. Maybe the chances of it being in our galaxy is you have more likely a way of hitting the lottery than it being than not being in our galaxy.
Yeah, I think that's what I was trying to say. Like, the chances of more life being in our galaxy is probably better than your chances of hitting the lottery.
Let's be kind of rational about it. There more than likely are aliens in this galaxy or in the next one somewhere. Like, maybe they're not carbon based. Maybe there's some weird kind of life form we don't understand because we don't have the habitat to support them. But I'm pretty sure they know we're here.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't invite us to the company picnic either.
Yeah, they ain't getting invited to the cookout.
Yeah, because we've been broadcasting since what, the 60s?
Right. But you also have to understand like how long and how far that how long those transmissions take to get out there.
Yeah.
They're moving at even so radio waves are still moving at the speed of light. In the next habitable galaxy is only actually I think it's only 4 light years away, but I mean for us it's still pretty damn far.
Yeah.
No, that's the next closest solar system. Next closest solar system is only like 4 light years away. But when we look at our habitable areas and places that could contain life, they're still pretty far away. So even if they had the technology to receive our transmissions or even look at us, because of the way speed of light travels and so on and so forth, they're looking at us in the past.
Yeah.
They technically not. They don't see if they had a telescope that was really powerful enough, and they're 20,000 light years away, they're going to see the Earth 20,000 light years or 20,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Which didn't really have human life.
Well, I mean, we've had confirmed reports from the government about unidentified flying objects.
So I was trying.
Could it be terrestrial? Sure. Because it's basically just saying we don't know what the hell it is.
I was only mainly speaking at a point that if we haven't been visited yet,
Yeah.
we haven't been visited yet, and they don't obviously know that we are here. But man, there's a
But
lot
we might
of
not have been
evidence.
visited by somebody. We might have been visited by drones.
Ooh, yeah, because what did we did? We sent robots. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, now like on the broad universal scale, Elma and I have to agree, like our species would not be considered on the intelligence era. Like if there's a spacefaring species out there, they're probably looking at us like we're Neanderthals at this point.
Well, also consider what if the rest of the galaxy has conspired in such a way that the rest of the life in the galaxy, we are the Krogan.
I don't get that reference.
We are the Klingons.
I get that reference.
We are the unstoppable juggernauts of species. We are to the rest of them, they're like, oh shit. If you shoot it, it heals. If you don't just instantly kill it, it'll hobble off somewhere and come back healed.
Wait, they get around too? What?
What? But who's to say that we are the Neanderthals when it comes to space exploration? How do we know that we are not the most advanced civilization in our galaxy?
We don't.
I mean, of course,
We don't.
Yeah, we don't because we haven't
But
made
like
contact with
us
them.
being the Neanderthals is just a hypothesis.
It is just a hypothesis.
Like just the existence of aliens is a hypothesis until.
If you run the figures on enough species, probability-wise, eventually you're going to find a species that invented the atom bomb before toilet paper.
For the wheel.
Yeah, so you're going to have the dude flying around in a wood ship like, hey, look at that, what's that? Let's hey, is that a cow? Let's take one.
I was about to make a joke, but I think we actually did. We actually invented the atom bomb before we invented sliced bread.
Yeah.
Wasn't that in the 50s?
Somewhere around there.
50s or 60s?
Let's Google it so we actually have confirmation.
That's fucked up.
Oh God, I am Tourette'sing all over this keyboard.
1928.
Okay, so not quite, but pretty close too.
Close. Very close.
We went from sliced bread to an atomic bomb in one generation.
It's not a generation, man. That was like 14 years.
It was the 3 shells.
Yeah.
The 3 shell method. But
Getting hyped for Oppenheimer.
I mean, then again, you know, with, you know, the whole coming up with the atom bomb, like in the same generation as sliced bread, I mean, it became a lot easier to make a sandwich. They had more time on their hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's not how I make toast, but you know.
It's not how you make fried rice either. Sorry. I think I'm definitely pushing the limits on that one. Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh, okay.
I was like, dip. I can't show my face anymore. I don't want to be involved with this. Seriously, might have something to take care of, but that's just good timing.
Just like, I gotta be anywhere else.
All right.
Oh man.
I think we probably have been visited. You know, I mean, there's a lot of evidence going around. You know, especially now. You know, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that have seen the same shit.
Yeah.
And they were all speaking up about it. They're all like, you know, different areas, in different countries, different hemispheres of the world, and they've all seen the same shit.
So not only that, but like historically, like there is ancient tellings of things in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
You know, long before we have recorded knowledge of flight. Now,
Right. There was yeah, like people were looking at old cave paintings, and someone described it, you know, the best way, you know, possible. Like, you know, they had a cave painting, you know, of like a rhino, you know, a cave painting of a woolly mammoth. They're like, they painted what they saw.
yeah.
And there's also ancient cave paintings of them seeing extraterrestrials, flying saucers, and, you know, large, tall, gray people. They painted what they saw.
So I also think that
It
all
would make you wonder where the stories about dragons came from.
actually I do kind of have a theory about that one.
Everything has some truth to it.
Yeah, I do have a theory about that one, which also falls in line with the Mayan god of was it Quetzalcoatl?
Sure.
All right, but yeah, on this topic here though, so before we might flip the last 2 topics because we're gonna run those 2 together. So do I think they've been here? Possibly. Like anything's possible at this point in time. Also, like, do we think that if they have visited, do you think they're here or not? Just due to like how things have gone. And oof, iced coffee burps. So like, you know, if you go on Google Maps, you cannot look at Antarctica or the South Pole, or you cannot look at the North Pole or the South Pole.
It's just because Google Maps, like, there's nothing important there for you to look at, so there's no point in, you know, trying to get that to render with our application, or, you know, creating the boundaries. And just like when you play a map in a video game, there's no point in going too far north because there's nothing actually there for you to look at.
Either that, or they're hiding the, you know, the hidden Nazi camp.
Oh, I haven't heard about a hidden Nazi camp in Antarctica. Please continue.
You haven't heard about that one?
I have not.
Oh, there's like they have one in Antarctica and they have one in the North Pole. Like there's 2 variations. The one in the North,
I can probably see Germany getting to the North Pole very easily. But
Yeah.
Antarctica, that's a hike. That is a decent hike.
So, but at the North Pole, it's like they fully set up a base, and like all the remaining Nazis are there, and they've like,
live.
yeah, like they've set up some sort of like habitat that simulates. Yeah.
This is me reaching for the doubt button.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Because
obviously,
if
this is the
that
whole.
were true, they must have some shit for just another nation
So I have heard. Oh,
being World War II champs.
Saul was just backed up. So we had. There's that one, and then there's.
Most of them ended up in Brazil.
Yes, Brazil.
Yeah.
I can see Brazil. I mean,
So there's that theory about the North Pole, and there's also the theory that. You all right, Solops?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I just had to do something real quick. Here. Just continue.
All right. There's also the theory of the race of beings that were here before humans. That's the entrance to their people who live at the center of the earth, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that there's a theory that the entrance is there.
It's being guarded by the Nazis.
No, they're two separate theories, but yeah.
Okay, I got you.
The crazy things though about the Antarctica is they found a pyramid there.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah.
they found lots of pyramids in lots of locations where there's like how are so many civilizations all over the world building the same thing?
Yeah.
It's because they were all taught by the same people. Just like being able to make alcohol. How did all these civilizations? No one ever says this about alcohol. I think I'm probably the only person that's ever said this about alcohol. How did so many different civilizations all figure out how to make alcohol?
Because it's human nature that once you come into contact with reality is you want to adjust it.
What do you think about those tuner knobs on a TV set? Look, alcohol and donuts are the two things that have been completely across human history.
Donuts?
And, donuts.
Yeah, fried bread.
Every civilization has invented a donut.
I was going to say alcohol and the bow and arrow.
So the bow and arrows one, spears definitely because it's not hard to put a pointy end on a stick.
Mm.
Bow and arrow, that's an interesting one. I haven't.
Yeah, I think bow and arrows. I mean, like, it's not a hard concept, but to think about it,
To make it universally worldwide, that's interesting. I'll have to look into that one because, like,
other civilizations have all developed it at different times. Like even the uncontacted, tribes in the Amazon, they have bows and arrows. Yes, it's not a hard tool to visualize, especially since we know it. We know it so well.
yeah,
It's easy. We just took a curved, a slightly bent stick, tied string around it to make it even more curved to apply pressure, and
I'm kind of curious of because I know.
Spears. It's not a hard concept to think of.
Because it is that is an interesting one because they did have them historically in Europe. They had them historically in China, Japan, historically in India, and historically in America.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting.
South America too, and like the Amazon, not being contacted, who taught them how to do this. But dude, even still, like, it takes what, 20 minutes to make a bow and arrow if you actually like think about it, to come up with a concept. How long does it take to make alcohol? It takes weeks to make alcohol.
Well, that's not the thing. It's how long does it take to master a bow and arrow?
Okay, that's fair.
But
Even
yeah,
still, how
also
long does it
here
take to
the
master alcohol. It takes
All right.
weeks.
all right
Mastering.
on the whole creating alcohol thing. How many times do you think that every tribe or historic people had an area where they threw all their waste? Somebody throws a bunch of fruit that's no longer edible into one spot, and somebody eventually is going to be like, "Hey, what's all this liquid coming out? I'm going to drink that."
There's always that one.
There's still a little bit more of a process than letting the fruit, the fruit go bad. There's a little bit more of a process.
Right,
than letting the
right,
fruit
like-
go bad.
How did everybody come up with some form of yeast?
Yes.
I mean, have you seen some of these videos of these dudes in jail making alcohol? Like, you
Yeah.
can do a whole lot with some rotten fruit.
They know what they want to create, and they just found different ways to create it instead of just coming across.
Well, your average apple cider that has kind of turned. Imagine finding that in nature and being like, "What is this shit? How do I make more of it?" A primitive man who does nothing but hunt and have plenty of downtime, that's all I do. That'd be my hobby for the entirety of my life. How do I get the rest of the tribe fucking drunk? Who wants to have a drunken woolly mammoth
that's also
hunt?
my
I
point.
do.
Like, you don't know what being drunk is. You don't know what getting drunk is. You don't know what, you know.
Well, at that point
Yeah,
in
but
time,
after you stumble across it once, you're like, I need this in my life.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, imagine like what it takes to get, you know, all this stuff to ferment. You know, heating it up. You need stills. Do you need stills for all
No,
this
you
stuff?
don't.
Then you need to let it sit. You need
Yeah.
to let it age.
it just basically like you squeeze an orange, you put it in some sort of container and just set it out in the sun for 3 weeks and you got it.
Who's the first person that did that? It's just...
Like I said, there is always somebody in every, historical era of, I'm going to put that in my mouth.
Well, you got to remember, dude, nature does not come with warning labels.
No.
We were the guinea pigs at some point in history.
So, and a lot of
Like,
times,
hey, Og, it's your turn. Go eat that thing. If you die, we're not going to eat it.
here's
So,
the short straw.
Yeah, man. I mean, so for finding mushrooms, there's finding mushrooms. I get it, but like, I'm just trying to say for alcohol.
It's a mixed bag, though. Like, you gonna find some mushrooms and like some gonna kill you, some gonna make you high as shit.
Yes. See, there's a difference between just eating random shit and then going through a delicate chemical process that will take you months to complete to create.
It's not really delicate.
How often?
Yeah,
have
but
you
we've had
maybe-
centuries to
I know,
refine that. We've
I
had
know,
centuries of people going, "What do I do when this happened?"
Exactly. We've had time. We know what we wanted to create, and we found better ways to create it.
Okay,
It's like
but
being in jail. You found
all right. Let's go back here a little bit here though. There is a little bit on this in the, how does everybody know how to do all this stuff? Is we have scientific proof that 12,000 years ago there was a flood. There was a global flood. The sea line rose 20 feet worldwide, or the sea level rose 20 feet worldwide 12,000 years ago. We know this. Like, this has been proven beyond a doubt. But every single culture has a story of some man appearing on a boat who comes in and shows them how to, cultivate crops, how to, basically live with the land. Every single culture in history, in recorded history, has somebody showing up on a boat and teaching them how to do all this stuff.
Did the boat have giraffes and lions and elephants on it?
No, like
each
the
time?
boat is different for everybody, but they're all the same. Somebody arrived by sea, and like in was it the Aztecs and South America? There was the Quetzalcoatl. Somebody, a man showed up riding Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl, for those who don't know, in Old Mayan was a giant feathered snake.
And he gave them this man gave all these civilizations. He gave them the bow and arrow and the procedure to make alcohol. I can buy it.
Why not? Yeah, I mean, he showed them how to sow crop. So
Well, we've also scientifically kind of narrowed down. Was it the Toba eruption? 70,000 years ago, humanity got down to what was it? Between 3,000 and 10,000 people after an eruption basically screwed the planet up. So they've said that
Were they doing
all of our genetic material comes from like that same genetic pairing of 10,000 people total.
yeah.
What did you say you said 10,000 years ago?
70.
70.
Yeah, there is evidence that on average of every 12 to 15,000 years, there is a global catastrophe.
Correct, and we are overdue.
We are extremely overdue.
Can't wait. It's gonna be so exciting.
Well, you got to figure some of the global catastrophes could be attributed to things just as simple as a contagion or a disease, and we've developed modern medicine to curb that.
Yeah, that we can curb. We can't control when Yellowstone goes.
No.
We can't control, but we have ways to mitigate it, I believe.
We can mitigate some of the damage, but when Yellowstone goes, There's going to be a crater. And hopefully it'll knock California off at that point.
You beat me by so little amount of time. You don't even understand.
Pop that little bastard off like a bad piece of Lego and just let it drift.
It's coming for it. I need to find the right words about the San Andreas.
But no, if that thing does go, and I'm sure they've spent decades coming up with plans on how to relieve the blast and things that they can do to stop it from becoming, like even then, they're going to make a crater the size of a large city.
Yeah. Which is why that area is sparsely populated comparatively to the areas around it. There are still people who go, like, it hasn't erupted in 5 generations, it ain't going to erupt. You know, those are the same people who, you know, will build a house in the middle of Tornado Alley every year just to collect the insurance on it.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah. We used to know somebody like that. I used to live in Indiana. Used to know somebody like that who every year was rebuilding their house or buying a new trailer, depending on what the payout was.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to, this one I don't believe is so much of a conspiracy theory as it is capitalism at its finest. Fluoridation. So does nobody ever know the history of this?
Never heard of it.
I'm sure you have, actually. This is the process in which they add fluoride to water.
Oh, yeah, I have heard of that.
Basically, if you are on city water, you are drinking fluoride all the time.
Yeah, they put plenty of chemicals into our drinking water to help, you know, fight certain bacteria and so on and so forth.
Right.
To keep us
The problem with fluoride, though, is that it is one of the most toxic substances known to man. And by
put shit ton of chlorine in the water, in the drinking water. Usually why I have drier skin after taking showers and shit.
which is why I'm so excited my new house is on well.
Good stuff.
As someone who lived on a well for a great many years and got muddy water every time it rained really hard, I don't know. The toxins kind of look a little appealing at some point.
Toxins.
Because when you run the tap to brush your teeth and the water's brown, you're just like,
It's just naturally filtered, man. Just naturally filtered.
Look at Chris's face.
There's things that we do nowadays to prevent that. Like this house has like a double filtration system. It has a filter in the pump and a filter in the house.
Oh, okay. So it's not that bad. So
Yeah.
then.
But
see, all the water we drink here, we filter. So, like, it comes out of the tap and goes through a filter before we even touch it. So.
yeah, but fluoride is an extremely toxic chemical, and it's a byproduct of mining. And this company decided that I forgot what it's a byproduct of mining, but it is a byproduct of some sort of mining, and this company decided to find a way to, instead of having to pay to get rid of it, they found a way to sell it so that way they don't have to pay the fees. And they found out, oh, hey, it strengthens your teeth. So they immediately started selling it to dental companies. And then it just went further and further and further. And now it's in our drinking water, which leads to this is where the conspiracy comes in. It's like, yes, that is how it got to that point. And now it's in our drinking water, but it's minimal enough that it doesn't affect us.
Massive quotations.
But one of the first steps, or one of the first side effects of it is impassiveness. So by putting this out on a massive scale, it pacifies all the citizens.
Pacifies the population.
Yeah.
Okay. I know.
That's where the conspiracy starts coming in.
Mm-hmm.
There's better ways to pacify a population.
Is there?
I mean,
You're talking you getting everybody to drink from the same water. So, a lot of people who live in cities are, like-minded. I'm not gonna say that word. Like-minded individuals who are very sheepish.
All right. So here's the thing.
Individuals who are very sheepish. Okay.
If you take any small slice of area, they have their own kind of community, their own kind of like culture.
Mhm.
Through everywhere across the country. Now you've taken that same size and you've just stacked it on top of each other. And instead of having one culture, you've got like 19 and they're all trying to compete with each other.
yeah, but the
That's all
point
the
he's
city
making
is.
is that it is in city living, it is a mass cluster F of. I don't know if it falls under also mass hysteria, I think. Because like there's a lot of like-minded individuals on a thinking level trying to keep this. I love how we're all skirting around and making it political.
Well, you don't really have to. I mean,
That's right.
take politics clean out of it.
No, I was gonna say, there's a lot of blue cities. They're all drinking the
Yeah,
same
but
water,
think about like go back to the 80s and people that hated like Dungeons and Dragons. All you had to do to get a whole bunch of people stirred up was to get the pastor at a local church set on fire about it. And he'd get the whole congregation turned up. And even the people who didn't go to church would hear about these people bitching about the evils of this little board game that let people kill each other. And it's not so much let's control the people, it's let's just get the person who's got people's ear. And that's all it was. So I've kind of, would you pacify people with fluoride? I don't know. Without killing them?
I mean, if it makes it easier,
But if you want to pacify a population, there's a much simpler way to do it.
why not do both?
Because then it gets expensive to like explain why all these people are dying because you
He says
didn't
they're
mix the
dying.
dose right.
Okay, so I mean, just some food for thought on this. America has one of the highest obesity rates. America has one of the highest cancer rates. All of these things are implicit with the average American form of laziness, which is a docile.
Well, it's docile because we don't really have to do anything. We don't have to go hunt the food. We don't have to go. Like, I don't have to sit here and like go to the grocery store and rumble with Wild for the last loaf of bread.
Nah, I'm gonna just say you can have that, bro.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. Like, people aren't fighting in the streets. People aren't hungry. They're not.
Yeah, I get it.
There's a level of desperation missing in like the Western culture.
I mean, people are. I mean, but
People are, yes. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just
They're the exception, not the rule.
right.
Right.
Like
But I'll say, even still, like, I guess.
Western society, while it does have its flaws, is pretty good.
I was gonna say, I guess.
it's the most polished turd. Does that make you feel better?
All right,
Even the
so
people that have the struggles in our area, they go through struggles, they still have it better off than other countries do.
yeah, the poorest American is hand and fist more wealthy than a third world country, or somebody in a third world country, not the country itself, but because like.
Well, it depends on the country. How much gold do you have in Warcraft? You might be able to buy Venezuela.
You know, I've actually heard people talking about going there, and I'm like, bye. Like I vacationed there years ago. It was beautiful. I'm like, okay, have fun. All right, so let's
Send me the before and after photos, please.
all right, let's hop into this one because this one's interesting. False history, and I don't mean this on a what's in your history book kind of way, because we know that's flawed beyond belief. Like we keep proving our own history books wrong year in and year out.
History is written by the victors.
And not just that, but like things that have potentially have existed in the past that we used to write stories about that all of a sudden don't exist anymore.
Go on.
So we brought it up earlier, dragons. But we also know that a lot of dragons could have been perceived from dinosaur skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
Or dinosaurs were a lot more
monsters.
recent than we thought they were.
Whale penises.
What was that?
Sorry, I was just saying the Loch Ness monster, and sometimes people just think it was probably just a whale's penis. Being real.
Fair enough. One of my personal favorites is giants.
Giants probably were a real fucking thing. Oh, dude. Oh, dude, you don't want to talk about giants right now? I was watching a video, and they were talking about like this huge. It's like this huge structure, almost like a city that's just like off the coast of. It was Japan. Japan is like it's like in the China Sea or something like that. Just this huge structure, and it also makes them believe that there is a eighth continent that got flooded. It was in the middle of the Pacific. Continent of Mu. Yeah, Mu.
But like
A lot of cultures talk about a missing continent, like Atlantis is
Atlantis is
kind
a
of
lost
popular
city.
across.
Atlantis is a lost city.
Atlantis could be the capital of said lost continent.
Could be.
Oh, son of a
Oh,
bitch.
dude, I saw a video. I saw this guy had like really hardcore evidence that Atlantis used to be in the Sahara Desert.
I think
Well,
I've seen that same one where like he shows like the possible city rings and all that.
Yeah, the city ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, ooh.
Well, consider like we're talking about like, oh, there was a big flood and like some guy showed up on a boat and taught everybody all this stuff. Well, what if it was a survivor of Atlantis?
Who's to say?
Yeah.
Or what if it was several who were like, we ain't got much left. Let's go teach these little primitives how to survive because we're kind of screwed.
Missionary expeditions or whatever.
Yeah. I'm just the things that are always weird that we cannot explain. Like we brought the pyramids last week. The pyramids themselves predate Egyptian history.
Not the entirety of Egyptian history.
Pretty close to it.
They still have recorded history of when they actually built the pyramids. They just don't detail how they built the pyramids. Crazy. Or
But
maybe
did they-
Well, there's a lot of lost
got
information. Consider all the stuff that was lost in the Library of Alexandria, for example,
Yeah. Yeah.
and all the things that we like to pillage back in the day. Oh, this is the only script that we're able to find from this. Where the hell ever? Let's go put it in our library. Oh, our library burned down. Son of a bitch.
book burnings.
But yeah, so like things like that. There's evidence of that all throughout history. There's what was it? Have you guys? I'll see. I'll have to see if I can find it again. There are maps that predate Western history that show the Americas.
I have heard of those as well.
Like it was mapped all the way down and across the Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
But when they mapped Antarctica, they showed like forests and pyramids and things like that. So I am more
Some very Alien versus Predator vibes there.
yeah. I think I am more curious in the what we're missing than what was.
Isn't that technically the same thing?
Kind of, but like, like I would like to know more about like the potential giants that are walking around because do we think
See,
that
giants I could almost explain because you think about it, like people get bigger generation to generation. We get a little bit taller.
They're not talking about that. You're talking about like someone that's like 8 feet tall.
I know, but
they're
all
talking
it
about someone
takes-
that's like 20 feet tall.
All it takes is like some dudes who were like, say the average is like 3'5" at some point in human history, and you got one dude who's Andre the Giant. they're going to report that dude touched clouds because that dude's going to be like, I can stack 3 of you.
Yeah, I can get with that.
I guess maybe. Yeah, maybe you're right.
And then consider like that doesn't
Exaggerate.
happen very often to us now. But what if that was more common back then? Like, what if people interbred for that kind of thing? Consider we have different
does it say
diseases
it
that have
there?
popped up. Well, because people do that, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
People have done that all through history. Oh, there's a really big dude. Find him a really big woman. Let's make him a really, really big kid. And they'll just keep doing that.
Well, that's fine. You're talking about interbreeding and incest.
Yeah, I mean that's used to be common practice.
Yeah, forced. And they would do it a lot. They did it to soldiers in Persia too, I believe.
The thing's not in the textbook.
Yeah. History is not kind. People are assholes to each other since the dawn of time.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who says we're mean to each other now, I'm like, let me introduce you to the 6th century.
Yeah. Now, some of the most atrocious acts of recorded human history happened in the 19th century, or it was the 20th century. But yeah,
20th century, as in like 24 years ago.
yeah,
That's the thing, recorded. Like, in the last few years that we've had cameras on us 24/7, how much more crazy shit have we captured day to day?
oh yeah. Like I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, like, in recorded history, some of the biggest atrocities that have ever been recorded have happened in the last century.
That's because we have better technology and we know how to get things
Yeah.
done more efficiently.
Yeah, like it's in human nature by this point in time that, oh hey, we figured out how to do a thing. How can we weaponize it?
Yeah, but you remember, this isn't like 400 or 500 years ago. Like, a lord can't go burn down a village and be like, God did it.
No, but they can
And
random.
the other villages be like, well, God must have done it. The Lord said so.
Yeah. So you got that. Yeah. But you know what? People are still as gullible.
TCP. It's okay. Release the fury.
Yeah, I'm good.
But yeah, so
And then
dragon.
also consider like legitimate mysteries like Roanoke colony. The entire colony just vanished. Nobody ever found out what happened to them.
Yep.
Do you remember?
Virginia Dare, the first colonist born in America, among the lost.
Yep.
Are you talking about the first Jamestown?
Roanoke colony.
But not where present day Roanoke is.
No.
No, not where
Yeah.
presently Roanoke is.
You're talking about it was like just below.
It was up on like the island piece of connected to Maryland. But yeah, like a lord went, dropped everybody off, his daughter and his granddaughter, and he went back to England. There was a war. He came back. Whole place was abandoned. Never found a soul.
Right, I do remember that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's
6 months like unaccounted for though. Like at that time,
It's longer than that. It's a couple years.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's pretty good evidence of what could have happened, but we're not allowed to say in modern polite culture.
Well, even then, we don't know. Like you could take a relative guess, but you're not going to know. I mean, it could have been a famine. It could have been disease swept through everybody.
No, because
Yeah,
if it was disease or famine, you would still find the bodies. They didn't find any bodies, right?
They didn't find any bodies. You know, if they
didn't
burned
find
them or
anybody.
whatever.
They didn't
Hey,
find
it
any
was-
bodies, they didn't find any bodies.
It
And
was
then
the
what if they
the
got sick,
Lovecraftian
and then
frog
the
people.
locals were like, yeah, like all it takes is one white guy running out of the colony, and some of the natives being like, "Why is that guy turning green? They gotta go. Get him. And to them that makes sense. Like, there are green people running around.
So yeah, I mean, lots of things could happen with that, but so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, and hopefully we helped you come up with different ideas to think about and question reality. But in the meantime, hope you had a good time watching us run circles around stupid ideas and things like that. But oh, where's my mouse? I lost my mouse. There it is. All right. Thank you all for coming and watching. We hope you enjoyed yourself, and we will see you in 2 weeks.